I'm excited because today I got a proof of the coloring book that I've been working on, and I thought I might have to reset it, which would take a day, would only have taken a day. So I was all braced for like, okay, when I get the proof back, I may have to like reformat, right? But it came and it's perfect. Look, it's Tarotland, a coloring retreat. So I made this so that the idea being that these archetypes are bringing you their most soothing medicine. So this is not a shadow workbook. This is a workbook to connect. I don't know, maybe that word's overused, but this is a workbook to just soothe you, to like let you know that like you're held in some kind of web of human spirit. Even though like, I don't know, I don't have a solid overarching story about what I think that means. Some people have religion, and so if you have that, you have an idea of, you have a picture of what it means and a way to practice it. If you're out here a little bit more free form and you don't have something set like that, finding a way to tell evolving stories to yourself about your spirituality is, I mean, I think it's at least one of the ways that you actually find not only who you are, which is a thing, that's a real thing, and when you get it, when it clicks, you'll know it. You know it. It's not, you're not searching for nothing when you're looking for yourself. When they say you're trying to find yourself, you are, but you're there already. So to want to look for a way to go about that evolution is very human, and in fact has been practiced over always in communities and cultures, always. I think it's very modern that we have such a cultural freeform way of, in America and the Western world in general, of just kind of saying, well, hey kid, you'll figure it out. They'll probably tell you something at school or whatever, kind of do your own thing, pick and choose, your own this and that, which I love. I want, children should have autonomy. Don't misunderstand me here. But there's a certain lack of structure that happens spiritually, and in terms of like, how do you evolve? How do you find yourself? How do you ground into something that you solidly understand as being yourself? And it's important because that's where your peace is going to come from. And I think it's easier to not have peace when you're young. The older you get, the harder it is if you don't have peace, because you don't have anywhere to turn if you don't have peace. And it just keeps going. Like, if you don't make peace for yourself somewhere inside, it doesn't just drop in your lap one day. You don't just walk into a frame, walk into some picture that you've been wanting to take in terms of what you've wanted to create in your life. You don't step into that snapshot and then all of a sudden that's it. That's you understand. All of a sudden you understand who you are. It's people wind up in the picture they were looking to create and have no idea. They have no idea how they got there. Didn't tell them anything about who they are. So I think when we don't have a framework handed to, and religion is as religion does. Okay, so like I certainly know some folks who were raised with religion, continue to have religious beliefs, but it was gentle, right? It wasn't abusive. And then there's other people, you say the word God and the color drains out of their face. They have to take a route to church or take a route to work that doesn't go by any Catholic churches, which, like, God help you in New Orleans, right? Or really, I don't know, St. Louis is like that too. Maybe most places are. There's a lot of Catholic churches, or maybe they're just more like, you see them from a long way away. There's some beautiful Catholic churches, but for sure, like a Baptist church is a little less, like visible on the horizon, I guess. Anyway, I made a coloring book. But it's all about trying to figure. What I'm trying to say is that this color, it's not shadow work. It does have questions in here about that will lead you to ideas of, to really think about something authentic in yourself and locate it and be like, oh yeah, that's real. And when you locate, like, that's kind of it. Like, you're like, oh, okay, well, that's real, and then that's part of who you are. So it's not that the every question in this book is like overly easy. It's just, it's not shadow stuff. This is stuff, not that there's anything wrong with that. I'll probably do that at some point. I'll probably make you a coloring book of shadows someday, okay? Hopefully. Ooh, that sounds cool, huh? But that is not this. This is a self-discovery book to empower you, to make you feel supported. It's mostly just for us to understand that we are held in this web of humanity that feels, weekend. That web feels weekend right now. So let's get in touch. Anyway, maybe I'll show you something from the coloring book instead of telling you like every philosophy I have about everything. So here's how this works. Here's how Tarotland works. So when you open it up, your first page that you're going to see this Fool here. So it has all the elements of what goes with this card, what goes with the Fool. And then this here, right here, this is a quote from the Fool. This is something the Fool is saying to you. So let me just read this, because this is the first page of the book. This is where you enter Tarotland. And this is the Fool is your avatar. Just think of it that way. Or you could, you're not going to have anybody holding, like, you're not going to have a guide that walks you through this book. Like, in life, you can call on these archetypes to kind of walk with you, or, like, be in your spirit, or at least, like, give you a shout out in the underworld or something. But in Tarotland, you are there on your own. It's just you walking through Tarotland, confronting different parts of yourself and soothing different parts of yourself and bringing different parts of yourself up. There's leveling up that goes on in here. But when you enter, you meet the Fool, and here is what she has to say. Innocence is a clear conscience through which the world may be perceived as unwounded. I am the place inside you that can never be harmed. I am your endless sense of wonder and curiosity. So, and then you get to interact with so this is where you enter in to someone saying like, hey, it's all about how curious you want to be while you're here. Just wander around, take everything in, ask questions, make statements, cast spells, do what you need to do, have fun here, follow your own feelings, your own intuitions, for better and for worse. But here you get to interact with the book. This is a workbook. So I'll tell you, this first little question says, write a personal statement giving yourself permission to just not know the answer. I mean, honestly, it's just with myself. A lot of times I have to say like, all right, well, I like not knowing what to do right now. That's like my statement of permission. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? For right now, I like that I don't know what to do, because I can just like stand here and not have to think about what I'm going to do, since I don't know what I'm going to do. But the permission statement is just like, all right, I like not knowing what to do right now. Like, I take it as a break at this point. But it's because I used to get really upset when I didn't know what to do. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do. Like, I just couldn't roll with like, well, I guess you'll figure it out in the throw, like, life goes on. I seized up when I didn't know what to do. And eventually, like, it was a therapist of mine that worked with me, actually, and so it was about 15 years ago that I just learned to, like, oh, I need to, like, be okay with not knowing what to do. But for me, I set it up as like, well, that sounds like a place where I can kind of rest. I can rest my mind. I can just stop, right? For some people, you know, it might just be more of like, no, really, it's okay. You deserve to live even if you don't know what to do. I didn't quite have that. Mine was just like, I was stuck. Like, we can't, excuse me, you know, all hands on deck. We're not going anywhere until I know what to do. That was like my issue. But if like your issue with not knowing what to do is, what if people find out that I'm a total imposter and I don't know what to do? Oh no. You know, so like if that's more your deal, you would have a different statement. So that's what goes on throughout this book. And then the other place that you interact at the bottom, and I did dots instead of lines on most things in here. It says, remember an experience from your childhood when something unexpected made you feel alive, made you feel a sense of wonder. So my answer to this is, and you know, life with my father was difficult. You know that if you watch my channel or have like met me for any amount of time at all, right? But one thing that he used to do when I was very, very little, like I was a toddler, but I remember it so well, is he did a magic trick, which he would make he would make a Reese's peanut butter cup appear. I still love Reese's peanut butter cups. I mean, they're so good, right? But he would like out of his scarf, he would do this magic trick and make a peanut butter cup appear. And there's a story about me, you know, like demanding that he make a peanut butter cup appear, you know, when there were no peanut butter cups in the house. And I was like, what does that have to do with it? I mean, I didn't say those words, but that was my attitude. Like, I'm saying, get the scarf, like make the peanut butter cups appear in the house, right? But anyway, that's one of my best memories. Well, it's the best memory of my father, period. But it's one of my best, like, memories in terms of just being like, oh my God. The world isn't, like, despite it all, you know, the world is this, like, look what it can do, you know. It definitely gave me, you know what, I will say this, him doing that definitely gave me something that I used like later on, because I really had this like, what could happen here? What could happen next? You know, like what is this? Maybe I should go do this and find out what it is. He really did ignite the sense that that curiosity would serve you, and that the world had strange offerings if you were ready to accept them, you know. So that's pretty magical. So you interact with the book, and then the next page is another workbook page that you interact with, and it's got the symbols on there for the elements and the astro, and each archetype also gets a quote from people that, I mean, they have some kind of fame or whatever. You should look them up on the internet. They're all cool. I'll read you this one for the Fool. It says, I touch my own skin, and it tells me that before there was any harm, there was miracle. And that's from Adrienne Marie Brown. And so then there's journal opportunities here. And then the next page is the Fool for you to color. And what I did, you can see this Fool is the classic Fool with her dog from the Pamela Coleman, the Waite Smith deck. So these are her original, these are the old, what am I trying to say? These are the classic figures that you know. These are the tarot people you know, okay? These are all your best friends from the tarot deck, right? But then I put in all these other pieces around them so that you would have lots to color while you consider the medicine that they bring you. I'll show you a couple more. Ooh, here's the Magician. He's super cool. There's a couple of mazes in here. I'm gonna be doing more puzzle books, but there's that coloring page for the Magician, and each archetype has a workbook page, and they have a coloring page in it. Look at her. I can't wait to color her. I cannot wait to color these. Let me find another one to show you. Wheel of Fortune. Check it out. Look at that. So there's more mazes on that one. But all of the images that you find on the coloring page, they relate to the card in some way or another, which is maybe brought up in the text in the book, and maybe it isn't. So this is all Major Arcana, 22 worksheet pages, 22 coloring pages, and I just think this book turned out absolutely gorgeous. I'm really proud of my coloring page designs. I'm really proud of my book design. And I'm just really proud of this book. And I hope that you absolutely love it. All right. Thank you.